So this video is going to go through the cosine rule. Before we move on to that, I'm going to do a very quick recap of the sine rule. So not necessarily work out the whole answers, but just a quick reminder of how to start these questions off. So first of all, you'll notice with this one here, these two are opposite and those two are opposite. And when that happens, where you know two opposite pairs and they make that crossover there, it's going to be the sine rule. So to start this off, we're trying to find an angle, so you need to make sure the sine angle goes on top. So it'd be sine x over 5 equals sine 120 over 14. So then you would times by 5. So notice we're not timesing by sine 5 because it's only a 5 on the bottom of the fraction. So it'd be sine x equals sine 120 over 14 times by 5. But that would give you sine x. And I will just, for this one, just work it out just to show you. So sine 120 over 14 times by 5, and you can see that the answer is really small, 0.309. So that should be a reminder that then you need to do sine to the minus 1 of your answer. So shift sine answer, and so this one would be 18, which looks a more sensible answer for an angle. Whereas this one here, so first of all, you can see that this side is opposite this one. Now this one that we're trying to find is opposite an angle that we don't know, so it doesn't look like we have two opposite pairs. It looks like we've got this one, although this isn't quite making a pair. However, it's always worth checking, can we work this angle out? Well, angles in a triangle add up to 180, so we can work this out. So it'd be 180, take 65, take 40, so this angle is 75, and now you've got your two opposite pairs. But this time we're trying to find a side, so it's going to be the side that goes on top, so x over sine 75 equals 12 over sine 40. And this time we've got sine 75 on the bottom, so this is why on this one you would times by sine 75 rather than just 75. And that's going to give you your value of x straight away, and you would be done. So what we're going to look at today is what's called the cosine rule, and it will be in situations where the sine rule basically wouldn't work. So if you get a triangle and it's not right angled, the first thing you want to do is check to see would the sine rule work, and if it doesn't work then it's going to be the cosine rule. So I was going to quickly show you an example of a situation where the sine rule wouldn't work. So on this one, for example, if you look at these two, these are opposite, so that's one opposite pair sorted. The 8 is opposite here, but there's no angle, and checking, there's no way to work out that angle because we don't know the one down there. And likewise, this side is opposite here, but there's no way to work out that angle again because we don't know this one up here. So in that case, we can only make one matching opposite pair, and so therefore the sine rule wouldn't work. You need to have the two where they can cross over. So that would be where the cosine rule would come into play, basically where the sine rule doesn't work. So first of all, before we go into what the cosine rule is, I'm just going to do a quick game with you that I would have done in class. So here we go, the sine cosine game. So I'm going to show you an example of a triangle, and you need to have a think. I've maybe paused the video and have a think, is it a sine rule question or a cosine rule question? So basically, does the sine rule work or not in this case? So here's your first one. I know you're probably very excited to play this game. So here's the first one. So I'd pause the video, have a think, is it sine or is it cosine rule? So this one, let's have a look. So this angle here is opposite here, so that's one matching pair. This one is opposite here, so that works. We've got the crossover, so that would be sine rule. Right, next one. So again, pause the video, have a think about it for yourself, because in the exam you will need to know yourself, is it sine or cosine, so have a think. So this one here is opposite here, so that's one matching pair. The angle is opposite here, that's another matching pair, so we have got two that cross over, so that would be sine rule. Right, next one. So again, pause the video, have a think, sine or cosine. So this one, we've got the angle opposite here, so that's one matching pair. This one is opposite an angle that we don't know, so that doesn't work. There's no way to work out that angle because we don't know that one here. And this side is opposite here. Again, there's no way to work out that angle, so that's only got one opposite pair, so that's going to be cosine rule. Next one then. So we are going to do a few of these because this is the most tricky thing really in exams, just working out which one it is. So this one, pause the video, have a think. So this one, 6.7 is opposite the x, so that's one matching pair. This one, opposite here, is there any way to work out this angle? No, because we don't know that one. This one is opposite here, no way to work out that angle, so again, sine rule won't work, so this would be cosine rule. And final one of this very exciting game. So here we go, so pause the video, have a think. So x is opposite 112, so that's one matching pair. 18 is opposite the 18.2, so there's your crossover, so this does work. So this would be, excuse me, this would be the sine rule. Right, so if we actually go through now, what is the cosine rule? So I'm just going to quickly find the question I've got. Here we go. So the cosine rule then, if I write this down for you, so the cosine rule, it might be worth making a note of this so you can use this in your question. So it's a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So with this one, the first bit is a bit like Pythagoras' theorem, isn't it? So a squared equals b squared plus c squared, and then you just have to remember really the minus 2bc cos a. You do need to learn that for the exam, it won't be in your exam paper. So with this one, this is the one I showed you a little minute ago. So if we were doing this in an exam paper, here's an opposite pair. That one is opposite an angle we don't know, and there's no way to work it out. Same with that one. So the sine rule doesn't work, so therefore it's going to be the cosine rule. Now you can see it's in terms of the A, B and C again. So the first thing to do is to label your sides with the capital A, little a, like we were doing at the start of the sine rule. So it doesn't matter which one really you want to go for. Now the only thing I would say is that here capital A needs to be your angle. So I would make this the capital A, because then when you put it into here you know what that angle is. And then this one's going to be the little a. And then the B and the C really makes no difference which way round you want to do it. So the B and the C just get squared and added anyway. So it really doesn't matter. So eeny, meeny, miny, moe, let's go for this one. So that's going to be B, and therefore that would be C. Now you can label that therefore with a capital B if you want to, and then this one here would be capital C. So now we need to just substitute this all into here. So a squared is just the side that we're trying to work out. So we could change that to x squared. And it's going to be b squared, which is 8 squared, plus c squared, which is 9.4 squared. And then this bit I would just shove into a massive bracket. So it would be 2 times b times c. So 2 times 8 times 9.4 times cos a, or a is 41.5. So this is what I mean. You need to label it so that a is that angle, otherwise you're going to end up with an equation that you can't work out. So 8 squared plus 9.4 squared minus 2 times 8 times 9.4 times cos 41.5. Right, so that is 39.71705,959. But that is x squared, so this is why your answer is really big. So if you look at that, if that side's 9.4 and that side's 8, it's really unlikely that side there is going to be 39.71. So always check, does that answer look sensible? And that should remind you, remember you've worked out x squared, we just want x, so you'd have to square root your answer up there. So square root answer, and so then we get x is 6.3 to one decimal place, which is a lot more sensible. So we'll do obviously now a couple more examples of exactly the same thing. So if I write down the rule again, so a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So I want a to be the angle that I know. I know that this one is 64.1, so that means that is our little a. So then the b and the c don't matter, so let's go for this one, b, this one as c. And then we just substitute it into here, so a squared is going to be x squared, that's going to be 7.1 squared plus 6.2 squared minus 2 times b times c, so 2 times 7.1 times 6.2 times cos A, which is 64.1. So 7.1 squared plus 6.2 squared minus 2 times 7.1 times 6.2 times cos 64.1. Right, so 50.3939 is 7055. That's obviously really big. That's because we worked out x squared, so square root your answer. And then you get 7. Well, let's do it to one decimal place. So it'd be 7.1 centimetres to one decimal place. Right, I'm just going to show you one example that sometimes happens in exams. So this one is exactly the same thing. So again, if you were in an exam, well, that one's opposite there. No angle here, no angle here, so that's why sine rule doesn't work. So this is going to be cosine rule, and just to remind you, a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. Now remember what I was saying about A being the angle that we know. So you can see in this question that if this was an exam paper, they've labelled that angle as B. So sometimes they do that. I would just cross out those for the moment, don't worry about that, and label this yourself. So that's our capital A and that's the little a. So I just think it is a bit annoying when they relabel it like that, because it puts you off and makes you think that has to be B, but I just ignore it and label it as A, that's little a, and so therefore B and C don't matter. And then you would solve it exactly the same as the others. So a squared is x squared. It's going to be 8 squared plus 9.2 squared minus 2 times b times c, so 2 times 8 times 9.2 times cos 51.1. So you'd work that out and then again square root your answer.